creating a good practice routine. We're going to get into it today. So if you're an oldie but a goodie, my name's Amanda. I am one of the co-owners of this channel. If you're new around here, my name is Amanda Dame. I'm a flute player. I have a online school called Virtual Woodwind Academy. I teach flute lessons, and basically this channel is a space for me to provide educational stuff for you. And lately in our community, I've been getting a lot of questions about how to build a better practice routine, how to build good practice habits, how to make sure you're getting all of the stuff done that you need to get done. And today in this video, I just want to dive right into it, tell you all of my advice for building a better practice routine. And by the end of this video, hopefully you have some good nuggets to take with you when you're practicing. Observe my music stand. This is where I practice in this very room. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. First things first, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, make sure that you click the link below to subscribe. And there are other things in the caption, other classes, and things that we offer if you want to join a community of other woodwind players. For example, we have a free Facebook group called Woodwind Support Community. The link to that is down below. And yeah, say hello to all of your other woodwind friends there. So let's get into it. Building a good practice routine. So the first thing that you need to build a good practice routine is to keep a practice journal. This doesn't have to be anything crazy. Literally, I just keep a notebook like this. And you want to make sure that you're writing down what you do. The way that I usually like to is I write the date and I write down what I practiced that day. Now, if that feels like it's too high maintenance for you, if you're not somebody that wants to have to write something down every single time they practice, the best, easiest, most minimal thing you should do is just write down assignments for the week. Now, if you have a private teacher, this is something that the private teacher might do. They might write a date. This is what I do. I write the date and I write the assignments for the week so that each time you practice, you can open up your practice journal and see, oh, I have to practice these scales. I have to practice that etude. I have to practice that solo. I have to work on my tonguing, and just have it there on your music stand as a reminder of all of the things that you are currently working on. Now, if you don't have a private teacher, then guess what? You get to write your own assignments down. So go ahead, and even if you're not completely sure what you need to be working on, the act of writing it down and staying consistent with working on those things and being able to see what you're working on from week to week is super, super valuable and gives you a lot of insight about where you are, what you need to work on, and just helps you track your progress. So go ahead and keep a practice journal. So that's the first thing you need. The second thing you need is a practice calendar. So this is one way to really look at the, let's say, month and what you accomplish and how often you practice during that month. Now, a practice calendar can be detailed or it can be kind of minimalistic and serve as just a reminder that you need to be playing your instrument regularly. So if you were to look at a calendar, I have one on my wall right here that I'm looking at, and you were to put an X on the days that you played your instrument for practicing purposes, how many days per month did you actually play your instrument? Now, for somebody who is having trouble motivating themselves to practice or having trouble actually taking out their instrument and getting some stuff done, it might be really helpful to look back on the past month and actually put an X on the days that you practiced. And if you notice that out of those 30 days or however many days are in that month, you only played your instrument 2 times, that's a little bit eye-opening and might offer some insight about why you're still feeling stuck. So somebody who's practicing their instrument every day or like 4 times a week is going to make a lot more progress on their instrument than somebody who's only playing twice a month by comparison. So if you feel like you're not making progress, if you feel stuck, if you're feeling frustrated, and then you come to realize that you didn't practice, all I can say is that's probably the reason why you're feeling stuck. You need to practice more. And as far as like how much you should be practicing in a given week or in a given month, it all depends on the person. I would say like a minimal good amount of time for somebody who's a woodwind player to be practicing is 3 times a week. And the reason for that is we have to use the muscles in our face, in our fingers, in our shoulders, all of this to make sure that we are practicing and keeping up those muscles. So if you're not playing your instrument often enough, you're going to find that your tonguing isn't consistent. You're going to find that your air isn't consistent. You're going to find that it's really hard to keep the embouchure shape that you usually have. And that's just because, we need to work out those muscles more. So if you're a woodwind player, you need to be playing regularly throughout the week in order to maintain all of those muscle groups. If you don't do that, then you're going to have to spend basically your whole practice session sort of like getting back in shape. And I don't know about you, but that kind of feels like a bummer to have to do. So just food for thought. All right. So the third thing that you need to build a good practice routine is to make sure that you're playing pieces that are a mixture of fun and challenging. This doesn't mean that I need you to find the most challenging piece of music that exists for your instrument. Like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to start practicing Flight of the Bumblebee, even though like I don't even know how to play my chromatic scale yet. If you're curious, I have a video of where I walk you through how to learn Flight of the Bumblebee. Highly recommend if you want to learn it. But it means that you want to pick something that you can't sight read. If it's something that you need to sit down and spend a little bit of time like going over and you can't just like easily sight read it, then it's challenging enough for now. You want to make sure that you're challenging yourself with music that you can't sight read, and then also music that you just find really fun to play. And if those two things happen to be the same piece of music, then that's great. But basically, it's really important to be having fun in the practice room and then also be challenging yourself in the practice room. This is one of the areas where a private teacher does come in handy because, for my flute studio, I specifically assign etudes that are going to be challenging in the ways that you need them to be, and assign solos that you find fun or that I think you'll find fun, but also a little bit challenging too. So without a teacher, sometimes people feel lost about what pieces they're supposed to be learning or what's going to be challenging them or bringing them closer to where they want to be. If you're really feeling stuck on that, I would recommend asking a teacher, maybe paying for just one lesson to kind of get on the right track and going from there. Now, if you're interested in that, my email is below. I'm totally happy to meet with you for one flute lesson so that we can just spend an hour going through your goals. I'll recommend a whole bunch of different pieces for you. I'll send you a bunch of scans so that you don't have to drop like $300 on music. And then you'll have like a whole like practice plan for the year. That's actually something that we always do at Woodwind Academy. We always do like an intake lesson to sort of like get the ball rolling with, what people should be practicing and make sure that they're focused on their goals. So I just want to recap everything we went through today. In order to have a good practice routine, you need to keep a practice journal. You need to keep a practice calendar. And you need to make sure that you're playing pieces that are both challenging and fun. And there you go. That is the recipe for a good practice routine. Now, if you feel like you need a little bit more than that, if you need some direction, if you're somebody who keeps a practice journal better when you have like actual templates to fill out, or an actual like practice calendar with specific assignments for each day that you should be working on, we do have this really fun offer. It's called the Woodwind Digest. I actually have on my desk right now, I like started getting a bunch of shipments ready because this is something that we mail out to people. The Woodwind Digest has a practice calendar, it has a practice journal with specific like journaling questions for the month, and we cater them to what people need help on. There's also a technical exercise or a tone exercise, a tune of the month, some instructional videos to help you learn the tune, and we also have a meetup so that we can sort of all talk about our practice routines, talk about how the month went, and it's just a lot of fun. So if that sounds interesting to you, the link to the Woodwind Digest is in the caption. And yeah, at the very least, say hello, leave a comment. We love meeting those of you who are in our community. And thanks for watching this video. See you around.